Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Dolphin Chronicles, episode number 16 here on the Kendall Sports Network. I'm here with my good old friend Alex, who right now you could probably light a candle off his head with how pissed he is at this team. I am Byron Garcia. How you doing, bro?
Man, you know what? I've had better Mondays. I'm waiting for for that day to come where I feel really, really good about work and about my football team and about I just don't have all my ducks in a row, and the Dolphins are part of that. So if the Dolphins don't get their shit together, then I'm never gonna have my ducks in a row. So until then, Byron, it'll have to. I don't know. I'm fine. I think I've had enough time to kind of, put my head, wrap my head around things. But I wasn't feeling good yesterday.
No. I feel like you're looking to get your ducks in a row inside of a Chinese restaurant, bro, and I don't think you're ever gonna find a live duck in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true story. True story.
All right, well, let's jump right into it.
Please.
Week 3 of the NFL season. Just a quick
run. We got two Monday night games today, so
yes. Week 3. Quick rundown. Inside of our division, the Jets beat the Patriots. The Bills play today. Giants beat the Browns. Patriots. The Jets beat the Patriots 24-3. Giants beat the Browns 21-15. Packers beat the Titans 30-14 in the Malik Willis revenge game. Bears lose to the Colts 16-21. Texans get blown out by the Vikings 34-7. The Eagles beat the Saints, who were the hottest team in the NFL, 15-12. The Herbertless Chargers lose to the Steelers and Justin Fields 20-10.
He started. He just left with an ankle injury. Yeah. He started.
The Broncos go in with Bo Nix and destroy the Bucs at home. Incompetent Panthers go in with the Red
Rifle.
Yeah, and just
TCU grad
beat the living daylights out of the Raiders.
Beat the brakes off of those guys. So much so that their coach said, "Yeah, we're going to make some business decisions too."
The Ravens beat the Cowboys 28-15, but the Ravens almost ravened.
No, 28-25, not 28-15, but yes, they almost gave up yet another fourth quarter lead.
Mm-hmm. The 49ers lose to the Rams. God, those injuries are hurting those Niners.
Yeah, but man, Jawan Jennings breakout game. What do you have? 3 TDs?
Yeah.
Hey, that goes to show you, man. That guy Kyle Shanahan over there knows what he's doing. He's able to overcome all those injuries. He's got a Mr. Irrelevant that's not so irrelevant anymore under center. The kid gets it done. They just came up against a gutsy Rams team who's also very well coached with Sean McVay and a freaking stud under center. I love this guy, Matthew Stafford.
Since he was at Georgia.
Yes, man. I wanted this guy so bad for Miami. Can you imagine if the Dolphins would have had Matthew Stafford, bro?
He wouldn't be anywhere near as good as he is.
I know, because we would have fucked something up along the way for sure.
Yep. The Lions and Man Campbell beat the Cardinals 20-13. And I mean, the Chiefs are going to chief along with the refs against the Falcons.
God, I'm telling you, man. A freaking pass interference right there on Kyle Pitts would have put the ball on the 1 yard line with 4 cracks at it with Bijan Robinson in the backfield. I'm sure Atlanta would have scored. That's unfortunate. I mean, the Falcons had their opportunities too, right? So, but yeah, the Chiefs continue to find ways to win and have the Zebras in their pockets.
Hold on, I'm doing math here. 3.
You sound like me doing math. Yeah. Outside of like basic adding touchdowns.
3. Okay.
That's it, folks. That's all I can do.
3 teams this week won.
With a backup quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, sir.
It all comes down to this, Byron. And I hate to say it because I like the guy and I like what he's brought as far as a culture. But he's getting out coached. He's getting out coached big time. Because I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that Malik Willis is so talented that he's just going to go in there. I mean, yes, he's talented. I saw the kid play at Liberty because he played against my alma mater. at UNT, and I went to go see him, and I saw his kid live, and he was special, right? But come on, bro, you're getting out coached. You're getting out coached big time by the Sean McDermotts, by freaking the Kyle Shanahans, by Matt LaFleur. Okay, and look at what Canales did over in Carolina.
Exactly.
A guy that should be in the broadcast booth by now. Okay, but he cooked. Andy Dalton cooked. Chuba Hubbard looked like Emmitt Smith. Okay,
on my bench,
looked like Adam Thielen of old. Deontay Johnson had a career game. You put your players in positions to succeed, and Mike McDaniel has not done that. He hasn't, and he hasn't proven to me that he can. If all his ducks are speaking of ducks in a row, if all his ducks are in a row and all the stars don't align, then the Miami Dolphins suck. And I'm sorry, but that's not a coach that deserves an extension that he got. At least not.
Right. So before we get in deep into that, let's get something out of the way. The referees in that game were absolutely a travesty, atrocious for both teams.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll give you that.
And the referees
officiating has been piss poor. For the first 3 weeks of the season, I can give you that. Been really bad. The officiating crew looked almost lost at times.
Right.
Okay?
And
what was that one time where Alec Engel thought that the play had been blown dead and Correct. They didn't call it? The missed horse collar, right? We saw that. That's clear as day. Okay. How many illegal formation penalties? I don't even know you could have so many illegal formation penalties. Like either we're completely incompetent, and I'd like to think that maybe some of our coaching staff is, or these referees are just finding shit out of the blue to throw flags. Because their arms must have hurt from all the flags that were thrown yesterday.
Listen, they've been atrocious, and welcome to Johnny into the show. They've been atrocious, but at least yesterday they were atrocious for both teams, and they've been atrocious, like you said, for the entire season throughout all the games, except if you have a white arrow with the red helmet and the letters KC attached to your helmet. But other than that, they've been atrocious.
Yeah, but hey, look, I want to get away from that because we know and we've come to understand that the officiating is not just at the pro level, at the collegiate level as well, has been so bad that it's terrible. It's so egregious now that it's bad, and there's very few officials out there that I can be like, "Coño, that guy had a good game." Very few times do I say that after an NFL contest, and that sucks to say. But regardless of what the officials did yesterday, there was some bad calls, but we weren't even close to competing in that game. It's a shame. We had a lot of pre-snap penalties, okay? Because the majority of those penalties were pre-snap penalties that we're kicking ourselves in the ass.
The Dolphins had 11 penalties for 85 yards, but Seattle also had 11 penalties for 92 yards. So the refs were just terrible.
They were equally bad for both sides. So at the end of the day, it came down to execution, which Miami could not execute on the offensive side of the ball because the defense gave us a chance to win.
Johnny, what are your thoughts on the officiating crews?
Well, I mean, I got to agree with both of you guys on that. Apologies for the late entrance here, but they were horrible the entire day. You mentioned it, 22 penalties in total, which is insane. Some of the ones they missed for the Dolphins were some pretty big ones. That horse collar on right down the sideline on that first drive was a bad one. I saw two different plays where Jalen Phillips basically got tackled, and there were no holding calls on those. Yeah. So it's just, I mean, but it's been league wide, like you mentioned, unless you're wearing a KC helmet.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently they don't throw flags on you, but like Alex said, that's not why we lost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it didn't help the situation, but at the same time, we just did not look prepared to play. We went back and forth on our group chat yesterday talking about the game, and I tried to defend Mike McDaniel a bit, but after watching it, looking at some game tape of it and stuff, I don't understand his thought process with the game planning. Seattle had a hard time last week stopping the run against New England, and we had some success running the ball, and Mike McDaniel converted to his usual form of, we're running and we're doing good with the run, and then he decides to just start throwing the ball all of a sudden, which is so infuriating considering the fact that he was the run game coordinator in San Francisco. That was supposed to be his bread and butter, was the running game. And it seems like he gets away from it right away, even when we're having success with it. And I mean, you can't tell me that your only 3rd-and-1 play that you have is a freaking fullback dive. Like, that can't be the only 3rd-and-1 play that you can come up with. Yeah. So it's a little disheartening.
Infuriating.
How unprepared we seem to be for that game. It seems like there was no change in the offense because of the changing quarterback. You would think he kind of would have dumbed it down a little bit for Skyler, and it seemed like he didn't. But that I'm going to put mostly on McDaniel, but at the same time, Skyler Thompson completely wet the bed. He said he basically peed down his leg in there. He was scared to step up in the pocket. He wasn't making the reads. Yeah, man. He totally pooped himself when he had an opportunity to show that he was deserving of the backup and could possibly lead a team. Even though guys around him didn't make all the best plays, but his just lack of awareness was insane to me. Those 2 plays right before the end of the half, you're obviously just trying to throw it into the end zone to see for a Hail Mary, and he's holding on to the ball, and I don't understand. And then the last play, he takes a sack, and it's like, bro, just throw it up and see what happens. So very, very disheartening and very, very concerning. But yeah, the officials were bad, but they couldn't have helped us win that game yesterday, even if they called a better game.
So a few things, Alex. You looked dumbfounded when I said Channing Crowder. Do you not know that story?
I mean, no, I don't really. Not off the top of my head, but
Channing Crowder used to have to pee, but he didn't want to miss plays. So while he was on the field, he would just pee and let his piss run down his leg.
Wow.
Well, Channing Crowder is definitely a different dude.
Ted Lammey said,
Ted, I'm going to go ahead. You said it. I'm going to call you crazy, bro.
You sound crazy, Teddy, but you're saying
I'll give Teddy credit where credit is due, bro. Teddy is the most positive human being that at least on X that I've encountered. Teddy, so props to you, brother. Ted sometimes just with his positivity and his posts just kind of, they talk me off a cliff a little bit. So Ted, my buddy, my fellow Southwest alum, I love you, man, and I hope we can somehow pull something out of our what, and maybe still win the division, because man, the Jets look good too. Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers.
Bro, he looked good against the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't get too, which is why I don't know if I'm with Teddy 110%. We got to see when Tua comes back. But I love the optimism, and I wanna, I want to be there with Teddy. But after watching that game, like, I don't know. We definitely would need our coach to actually be able to adjust to the situation, which he showed yesterday. He was not. And the sad part is that he had 10 days to prepare for this game, bro. That's the part that's really disheartening. And again, you hope that the players take some accountability for this as well, because yes, the referees were horrible, but that was a lot of pre-snap penalties, like Alex mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So the players need to take some accountability on themselves to be better. So we got a Monday night game against the Titans, and hopefully they step it up. But that was ugly, man.
Against another quarterback who's very kind of boneheaded. He makes some poor decisions too, and I think our defense turned Geno over, and Geno's not one to commit those types of turnovers.
Right,
let's be honest.
Right.
Before we start getting into those turnovers, to Johnny's point, the run pass ratio was 33-17 yesterday, which means that for a backup quarterback, your game plan was to throw the ball 66% of the time and run it on 34% of the time.
Well,
which
Byron,
to me
a lot of that is attributed to the scoreboard. We were behind.
Yeah,
so
but even in the second
score.
half, when we started that first drive where we had back-to-back runs totaling 28 yards on 2 runs, and then the next 3 plays are all passes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I agree.
So let me break that down real quick. Yesterday, you said that a lot of it is attributed to the scoreboard, right? Mm-hmm. Yesterday, we averaged, looking it up here, it's 3.7 yards per pass. And we averaged 3.6 yards per run. So what's the difference between running and passing, except for the fact that you have a stable of running backs that you can rotate in and out, and then you have Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle.
That's the thing. I don't see that. You make a good point. You're right. I wish I would have seen a little bit more of Jalen Wright. I think he provides.
Did he even get a touch after that non-horse collar play? I don't even know that he got another touch.
I think he had 2 rushes, if I'm not mistaken.
Two rushes.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But that was the last play. That was the last time he got the ball. Was the one he went out of bounds and got horse collared.
Yeah, I don't understand how you don't give that kid more touches.
2 for 17.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, and then you got what did we do? We made some changes in the return game as well. We had who did we take from back there? We took out Barrios and put somebody back there.
The Eskridge kid who we got from Seattle. Yeah,
he had a nice reception.
He had a nice reception. He had a nice return. We had Devon Achane back there, to start the game off with.
Hey, Malik Washington is on his way back too. I think he was doubtful yesterday, but he was at least not ruled out altogether. So maybe Malik Washington can help us in the return game. Maybe with another week of practice, Easy can stay healthy and see if he can contribute on Monday night. But
the thing is that it's about the person getting them the ball and the person making the play calls.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can have all your weapons, but if if you're making play calls and putting your quarterback in a position where
I think Tyler Huntley
he can't even read the field.
First team reps this week.
I would think so. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a move this week and get another quarterback. I mean, Mike White is still on the Buffalo Bills practice squad. I know people were saying that.
Get off of my screen, my ears, Mike White.
Well, you know what? That's better than Ryan Tannehill. But at least the guy knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like you saw Tim Boyle come in and he actually looked like a comparable quarterback that knew what the hell he was doing. Like again, Scott. I'm so disappointed that what I'm saying. Like I had some high hopes for Scott. I was hoping that he developed enough to where he'd be a serviceable backup, and he's not even that, bro. He's not.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pound the table for something I've been pounding on since the Tua injury. If it costs a 4th round pick, I'm good with it. Go get me Jimmy G. Go get him.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, whatever, bro. I can't even argue. I can't even argue.
At this point, nothing. Even before any of this came up, I thought Jimmy G was a very, very viable option.
Right. I just didn't want to give up too much for him, but I mean, a 4th, whatever.
We have picks.
Well, I mean, we have a few 5th, and we got a couple 3rd round picks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
bro, if the Steelers can pull off what they did with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, dude, then our front offense is not very good if we can't fucking get Jimmy G for a 5th.
You want to know what the difference is between the Steeler offense and our offense?
The offensive line.
They stick with the run.
They run. But they find ways.
Yeah.
Najee Harris gets 90 yards a game on 30 carries, but it's 30 carries.
And it wears you out. That wears the defense down.
Right.
Yeah. But that's again, coaching. Mike Tomlin, a guy who's never finished the season under 500, bro. That's remarkable with the shitty personnel that he's had on some of these teams. And they always find a way. Look, they're fucking 3-0, bro. Yeah. In the AFC North, they're probably predicted to be dead last in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see.
Baltimore, Cincinnati, and
the Browns.
Well, I mean, the Browns. I had them finishing 3rd. I had the Browns finishing last.
3rd or last. Yeah.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. And again, it's it's you know what I'm saying. Like Mike McDaniel needs to like really look at himself in the mirror and realize
He
that
needs to.
it's him, that he's a big part of it.
Daniel needs. He needs to do some job shadowing. He needs to take a couple weeks off and then go shadow Matt LaFleur, go shadow Sean McDermott.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you would think he's probably in contact with them. You know what I'm saying? So again, you would think he's smart enough to realize what it is that he needs to do. So if it's a matter of him just being too hard-headed about it, as much as I hate to say it, because you know what I'm saying, he's been extra creative, but maybe he does need to give up play calling. Maybe he needs to just design the plays and let somebody else actually call the plays that understands the way the game is flowing and stuff like that or whatever. Because he seems to not. Again, he doesn't have a grasp on what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, when we had those 2 runs, I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's run the ball down their throats. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he woke up after halftime and then immediately 3 straight passes. And it's like, bro, like I don't understand his thinking.
And let's also talk about, because let's assume we get the quarterback situation somewhat under control and we have a competent QB under center. Our inefficiencies in the red zone is atrocious.
It's horrible.
We cannot continue to settle for field goals when we start at the 5-yard line of the other fucking team.
Right, and that's something I was, I was talking so much shit on the other show with Nick about the Giants last week when they lost to Washington and they weren't able to come up with a 2-point play. And I'm like, are you telling me you don't have any? So Mike McDaniel, the guru, the genius, the Yale kid, you don't have any type of creative, you know what I'm saying, goal line type plays to come up with? You know what I'm saying? It's either run straight ahead or fades. You know what I'm saying? Granted, that one play to Durham Smythe, like he hit him. You know what I'm saying? Durham Smythe just couldn't come away with the ball. You know what I'm saying? Right. He needs to catch that ball. But and then the play, the time that we were there with Skyler, like Waddle was coming wide open, going to the left corner. He scrambled, he ran out to his right, even though all the reads were to the left. So that's what I mean by he couldn't process the feet. Like he took one quick look to the left and then immediately ran right.
You want to know
there's
why?
Nobody over there.
I'll tell you why. He can't get his hips around to throw to his left. That's why.
I don't know if that's what I don't know what it is, but point is that he can't read the field.
So he's not doing enough of these.
No, he's not subscribing to the Jameis. No,
yeah, to the Dak Prescott.
That's the Dak.
The Dak. I'm sorry,
the Dak workout. Yeah.
So okay, here's what I find inexcusable. Right.
Everything about the offense yesterday was inexcusable.
3 years in a system.
I'll save you some time.
Mm-hmm.
3 years in a playbook.
Mm-hmm.
3 years in the verbiage, and the time management was as atrocious as it was.
Right.
I mean, you have to be calling timeouts because we can't get out of a huddle in time. When you do get out of a huddle in time, you can't line up on correctly. And
that's just as much on Mike McDaniel and the personnel changes. If you're gonna send in a play, send it in on time. But Mike McDaniel's probably second guessing himself the whole freaking game because nothing was working. So a lot of that, yes, Skyler as the leader on the field, yes, has to take ownership of that. But a lot of that is on our coaching staff too.
Whoever it's on, that
can't happen.
No, Malik Willis doesn't have that kind of an issue, and Malik Willis got to Green Bay yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, and it's on the players too, man. Like you need to know where the hell you're supposed to line up. Like the fact that he's calling a play and then having to tell guys where to line up, like that's a bad look too. Like, how do you guys not know where you're supposed to line up?
Because there's so much motion that.
Well,
and again, this is so to Alex's point, this is coaching and preparation where you go into a hostile environment. Dummy the playbook down. Dummy the playbook down. Make sure you have certain packages.
That guy's been here 3 years. You shouldn't have to dumb the playbook down.
Well, you have to because of the fact that he can't do everything Tua can do. You know what I'm saying? So you can't call all the same plays that Tua can run. So you have to call the game plan according to what Skylar Thompson can do, and I don't think he did that for him. I think he put him in situations where he thought he could do more, and then Skylar completely was not able to do any of it. But again, the game plan should have been like, yo, we are going to run the ball down their freaking throats until they show us that they can stop the run. And he never did that. He never established a running game. Like, I don't even know what the identity of this team is anymore.
You want to know what the identity of this team is? I'm going to tell you what it is.
That's their identity.
And I quote, the offensive line concerns are only those on the outside. We have more NFL linemen than we can keep on this roster. You know who said that stupidness?
I know that's Chris Greer's dumbass comment.
Correct.
Okay, but I'm talking about the coach and the identity of our football team on offense.
You can't have an identity without an offensive line, whether it be passing or running. You can. I mean, you can still be, even if your offensive line isn't the best, you can still be like, all right, well, we're a running team, we're a play action team or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We led the league in rushing last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were one of the best running teams last year. And then there was a lot of the play action and stuff like that. And we took a lot of deep shots. Like, we're not establishing ourselves on offense at all. You want to know what's a good example, though, Johnny? Were you able to see the Sunday night game yesterday?
I lost all desire of football after that fucking Dolphin game. I ain't even gonna front. Gracias for the Miami Hurricanes, bro. Or like, I would be feeling so much worse, bro, for real.
So the Falcons were destroying the Chiefs with that outside zone run, right?
Mm-hmm.
A great coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, made an adjustment. That is the Falcons' identity. That zone run sets everything else up because it sets up the play action and the bootleg, which is the bread and butter for Kirk Cousins. Spagnuolo made an adjustment. It shut down that Falcons offense. Shut it down. So I understand you want an identity regardless of how good that specific position group is. But the greatness of that position group, the talent of that position group is what's going to dictate a Spagnuolo change that he makes on his defense, whether it's going to affect you or not. Guys with talent, Spagnuolo can make all the fucking adjustments he wants. My guy is going to pancake the shit out of your guy, regardless of what adjustment you make. That's a team identity.
That's fair, but we don't have the offensive line to be able to do something like that. But that's where good coaching adjusts to the adjustments that they make. You know what I'm saying? So if they adjust to stop something that we're being successful at, then you need to adjust to that and have something to counter that. Again, we're not establishing anything.
But personnel is one thing, but it's being able to elevate. I mean, let's be honest. The Chiefs have an all-pro corner in McDuffie, an all-pro linebacker in Nick Bolton, and an all-pro defensive end in Chris Jones. At each level of their defense, they have tremendo pinguo.
Right.
And Nick Bolton led the league in tackles. Just last year or the year before. A hell of a middle linebacker. That guy is the freaking quarterback of that defense. Okay, so Nick Bolton is a badass. We don't have a Nick Bolton. We don't even have a Chris Jones. And sometimes I wonder whether we even have a competent secondary. Because let's be honest, Javon Holland looked lost yesterday a little bit. And
there was definitely some blown coverages, but at the same time, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. Like, our defense put us in a position where we could have won this game. You're saying, like, we only gave up 17 points.
They turned them over.
They turned the ball over twice. They held them to 17 points for the majority of the game until that final drive.
Until they got tired.
Until that final drive, they got tired. They got disheartened because their offense couldn't do shit. That they set their offense up twice to score points, and they come away with 3 points. You know what I'm saying? Including one of the turnovers being inside the 5. Like, once Kader Kohu couldn't score on that interception, I was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to score a touchdown here, which is sad. You got the ball first and go at the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that last drive where we wound up, turning the ball over on downs, like, the defense was deflated at that point, and they were probably tired as well. So, they went down the field and scored. They made it 24-3, and the game was over. I mean, the game was already over, but the defense put us in a position that we could have won that game if we had any kind of a competent offense. We didn't have that at all.
That could have been a one possession game late.
Let's give a little bit of love to the one side of the ball that came to play. I do have video of both interceptions. We'll start with the one you guys mentioned, the Cater Kohu play. Let's load this up here.
6 defensive backs. Oh, they're coming at him. They got him, and he throws it away. It's picked off on the ricochet. Kohu's got it.
Yeah, then right there, you can tell Kohu has no offensive skill, bro. Because as soon as he got the interception, like, he couldn't make the one. He couldn't get around homeboy. Like, he's on the ground.
Listen,
he was on the ground, and he couldn't make a cut to the outside to go around homeboy. Watch.
You see?
He got it here. Like, come on,
terrible.
bro.
You're right.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
You couldn't make a move on that kid. He's on his knees.
Yeah,
but
he
made the play. He made the play. He got the pick. We're at the 5-yard line, and we come away with a field goal.
You score there right after that interception, and it's a totally
different game. It's a totally different game.
I also have the fat guy.
We just didn't put pressure on Seattle's offense to do anything. So they continued to run Charbonnet, and Charbonnet at the end of the day beat us down.
Right.
Let's play the fat guy interception real quick.
Yeah, props to Zealer, man. He came to play.
Deflected. Intercepted.
And see, and even this, like we're right by midfield. Right by midfield.
By Charbonnet, another ricochet interception for the Miami.
Listen, I'm sorry. I can
and look, it's 17-3 with 37 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Your team just made a great defensive play. Like, you got to put something together there, and we
was
couldn't,
that Calais
man.
or was that Agba?
No,
I think it was Calais. Calais got the tip.
Calais Campbell. Another guy who came to play. He had a sack too, and he played well.
Devon Achane played well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, but. I don't know, man. Like I said,
like you guys said, they leaked at the end, but and
I don't even blame them for that last touchdown. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, ABG.
Yeah, I hear you on that, and you know what I'm saying. Like, you got people on Twitter. Like, it's there's nothing we can do now. Like, you know what I'm saying. People got to get over it. He's a Minnesota Viking. Yes, would it have been nice to have him? Sure, but Chop Robinson has been okay. He's gonna get better. I'm not stressing the AVG thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, again. Our defense made some plays, put us in a position to be in this game. Yeah. Offensively, we completely crapped the bed.
I miss
for all the people who are banging the table talking. No, I ain't gonna front. I miss him too, but I mean, not to the point where, like, I mean, people on social media going nuts over the fact that we should have. Okay, yes, we should have, but we didn't. It's over. Move on. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing we can do now.
I think it's more salt on the wound that Brian Flores is over there and the Vikings are 3-0.
Yeah. But the Vikings are not 3-0 only because of the defense. They're 3-0 because that offense has been playing well too.
You mean with a backup quarterback?
With a backup quarterback that's been in the league for a long time. So and there's a difference between Sam Darnold, who was like the top 5 pick, and Skylar Thompson, who was the 7th round pick. So I hear what you're saying.
I'll give you that.
I hear what you're saying, but the you know what I'm saying, the talent is way different as far as, you know, a top 5 pick and a 7th round pick. But I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? 3 years in this offense, and he's an older quarterback too. You know what I'm saying? He played all 4 years at K-State. Like, again, I expected more from Skylar.
What's the difference between I think Skylar was what, a 5th or a 6th round pick?
No, 7th.
Okay, so what's the difference between Skyler, 7th round pick, and Purdy, 7th round pick?
Purdy's just better. That's the difference. Purdy's better. You know what I'm saying?
They had comparable careers because K-State, Skylar Thompson at K-State was a badass, and so was
Purdy at Iowa State. And I liked Purdy coming out. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. There is no difference once you're in the NFL between Sam Darnold, Purdy, and Skylar Thompson.
Yes,
if you're in the NFL, you have to perform.
No, I get that, but there's still a difference in talent when you're a top 5 pick and a 7th round pick. Arm talent and stuff like that is way different when you're a top pick as opposed to a 7th round pick. And again, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how many 7th round picks, you know what I'm saying? Was it Purdy and Tom Brady are the last 2 6th and 7th round picks that actually did anything? You know what I'm saying? So let's not act like every 6th and 7th round pick is like winning 10, 12 games every year. You know what I'm saying? So Purdy, props to him. And again, he's got freaking Pro Bowlers all around him, including the offensive line. That's the difference, too.
He's got a Trent Williams.
You know what I'm saying? He's got a Trent Williams. We got a third of Teron Armstead. You know what I'm saying? Because even when he plays now, You know what I'm saying? He's playing with a harness. I mean, he looks like a freaking medieval knight and stuff with all the armor and shit that he has to put on just to be able to play. Like, it's ridiculous.
Now he got poked in the eye and he's going through concussion protocol.
Like that's crazy. You get poked in the eye and you're in concussion protocol. But honestly, I'm excited. You know what? Put the rookie out there, bro.
The Massengill from the store.
Put the rookie out there and let him learn on the fly, bro. That's the way I see it. Put Patrick Paul out there, left tackle. Let him play. Yeah. Why not?
Listen, I thought Teron Armstead was out of body parts to injure. And then he comes back with an eye, bro. I'm like, bro, you know what, man? You are an overachiever. My Lord. Yeah. God, when you thought he was like, bro, he's out of body parts. He's injured everything. Right. Oh, what else out with an eye? Oh, God. I mean, that's talent, my friends. Talent.
Yeah.
Facts.
So we move on to something that I find interesting. Just how much quarterback matters. You had Tyreek and Waddle combined for 7 catches, 66 yards on 10 targets. And then you had DK Metcalf and Smith and Jigba combined for 7 catches, 145 yards and a touchdown. And Metcalf and Njigba had 1 less target than those 2 guys. So here's my thought. If Skyler doesn't start, if Tim Boyle starts, do we win that game?
The way he showed that he can actually function in an offense in that second half, probably. Honestly.
Yeah, I do think
I think we're in a much I think we're definitely in a much better position to win that game than we were. You know what I'm saying? Like Skyler shouldn't have even started the second half. Like once he took that massive hit where, you know what I'm saying, I think that was like early third quarter that he took that hard hit, you know what I'm saying, because he stood in the pocket and held the ball where they were talking about his ribs and Tim Boyle started to warm up. Like right then and there, like he shouldn't have brought him back in the game. And he brought him back in the game and he barely got touched and fell to the ground and looked like he got shot. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to play anymore. So, you know, I appreciate you trying to act tough and, you know, trying to, you know, get back out on the field. But, bro, not if you can't play, you know what I'm saying? If you can't throw the ball, he could have came out then and, you know what I'm saying, we could have had Tim Boyle in there a little earlier. Would it have made a difference? I don't know. But so I do think if he plays, I think if he starts and plays the whole game, I think we put up more than 3 points.
When did we sign Tim Boyle?
I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Was it before the season?
No.
Yeah. No. Well, yes, it was. We signed him for the practice squad.
Let's see. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Because my question is this: if we can get Tim Boyle ready,
well, he's been in similar offenses though. He was with the Packers, so he's been under LaFleur. I want to say he might have spent the season with
Huntley ready.
I think we can get him ready enough. And again, make sure you practice those running plays. Granted, the Tennessee Titans have a much better defensive line than Seattle, but
listen, if Malik Willis can tear up that defense, I'm confident Tyler Huntley can do the same thing.
I think he was like 13 for 18 or something like that, and he ran the ball a lot too, Malik Willis. You know what I'm saying?
Huntley can run.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So if he can come up with a game plan, but this is where, again, I mentioned this last week, and I mentioned this to my son and everybody else as a Dolphin fan. We're gonna find out a lot about our coach over these next few weeks. So far in the first game, that was a fail. You know what I'm saying? So he has a few more weeks to show us what he can do. Hopefully before Tua comes back, because even when Tua clears the 4-game IR, like we don't know that he's gonna be right back. And like I'm starting to lean a little bit towards what you were talking about, Byron. Like I'm not saying that he's never gonna play again, but like it would not completely shock me if we don't see him till like week 10, 11, 12 or something like that.
That's what I had.
Like, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that is the way I'm feeling now, but there's just something about this concussion thing that just has me nervous that he might be out more than half the season, bro.
I told you there's a medical concern in terms of recovery, but then there's also a personal concern for Tua.
Right.
You don't want to rush him back and risk a Cincinnati happening. So that's why I had figured give him to about week 10 if you're gonna bring him back.
Well, the shit is that by week 10, our season could be over, bro.
No, I understand. I hear you on that aspect of wins and losses, but I mean, God, you're
like I
supposed
said,
to be an NFL coach. You can't
that's
tell
what
me
I'm
that Matt LaFleur can do it with Malik Willis, and you can't get it done with Tyler Huntley. It's just
right. Right. Well, I hear you. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So I'm not gonna take that away from him. But come on now. But I think,
but still,
right. I think he definitely has the athleticism. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really want McDaniel to be successful, not just because I'm a Dolphin fan, because
August 29th, Tim Boyle was signed to the practice squad.
August what?
Just before the season.
August 29th.
Okay, so right just before the season. So he's been there a little less than a month, but he's familiar with this type of system coming from Green Bay. And I want to say he spent a year in San Francisco, but I'm not sure.
No, Detroit, Chicago, Jets, and the Packers.
Okay, well, the Jets has had this Salah up there, but I don't know if they had the same type of offense.
They just signed Hackett.
Oh, they just signed Hackett. Okay, so all right, so he has a little familiarity, from his Green Bay year there. I mean, he clearly showed, saying that he can stand in the pocket and read the defense, and actually made a couple of good throws. Saying that throw to Eskridge was a nice throw right over the middle.
The throw to Jonnu Smith was a great pass.
The Jonnu Smith was a good one, and then the throw to Durham Smythe in the corner of the end zone. I mean, if Durham Smythe could make a freaking play on that, that's a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So
with Tim Boyle on the field,
right, and that's the thing, is that he looked like an actual NFL quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He stood in the pocket and tried to make a play. Skyler was not trying to step up in that pocket at all, bro, at all. So, yeah, I mean, if Huntley ain't ready by Monday night, I would think Tim Boyle starts.
And look, and I understand the situation the Dolphins were in this offseason. You're trying to negotiate a contract with Tua. You're trying to negotiate an extension. I understand you not being able to bring in someone who's going to be able to push him in terms of competition, because then it looks like you're trying to replace him in the midst of contract talks, and those contract talks stalling. I understand the optics, but there's a disservice to this fan base, this franchise, and this team going into a season with Skyler as your backup. If this is the type of incompetent play that he was capable of, it's a travesty that happened. And I'm sorry, Mike White, if he couldn't beat out Skylar Thompson, and Skylar Thompson delivered this kind of a product, listen, I'll put that turd in my pocket before I let that shit into the fucking building. Because how bad was Mike White in order for that to happen?
I mean, Mike White looked bad in the preseason games. I mean, from all accounts, yeah, Skylar looked good in practice, but I mean, obviously Skylar didn't look this shitty in practice, or he wouldn't have been the backup. You know what I'm saying? So of course, in practice, when there's no fear of getting hit, you know what I'm saying, he probably does step up in the pocket and make the plays that he needs to play.
In-game situations are a lot different.
Yeah, that's a lot different, bro. So there's a lot of people that look good in practice, and then when the lights are on,
I can potentially look good in practice, and I can be
right, because as a quarterback, you're not going to get hit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
you have that no contact jersey, you're not going to get touched in practice.
Right. But I you know what I'm saying, again, I'm gonna be optimistic. The same way Teddy was optimistic about our team, I'm gonna be optimistic about this head coach and hope that he makes the proper adjustments, that this team rallies over these next 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Because we beat the Titans on Monday night. We go to New England and beat the hell out of New England. We're 3-2 going into our bye week, and the whole conversation is different.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
and those are
let's,
two
you know what I'm
very,
saying?
those are
And
two very winnable
these are
games.
two winnable games. Right. These are
Look,
two winnable games.
if you think about it, look at all the crazy shit that's unfolded in just the first 3 weeks of the
Yes,
of the league.
that was my next point, is that the
There's
NFL has been crazy these first 3 weeks anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The Cowboys, as good as they are on paper, are 1-2.
They're not.
Right.
The Ravens,
1 and 2.
Ravens are 1-2. Yeah, but the Cowboys defense is supposed to be top notch, and that defense has given up God knows how many points at home.
The Cowboys are only supposed to be top notch within the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Right, but I mean, I'm just saying, who expected Minnesota to be 3-0?
Right.
Okay.
Who expected Pittsburgh to be 3-0, like we talked about earlier? Yes. And New Orleans was 2-0, riding high, and then couldn't do anything in this last game. The Bucs. Oh my
God, and that Eagles team is so
the
bad.
Bucs started off 2-0, and everybody was crowning them NFC South champs. And Denver, the winless Denver team with rookie Bo Nix, goes down to Tampa and stomps them out. Like this season, again, this is the NFL. It's been a crazy first three games. So, like I said, I'm gonna have call it blind faith or whatever, but I'm gonna have faith in Mike McDaniel that he's gonna be able to figure this out, because we need him to be successful, bro. We cannot continue. We're never gonna be successful if we're constantly changing coaches every 3 years, bro. Every 3-4 years we're changing coaches. We're gonna be in the same freaking wheel that we've been going, you know what I'm saying? This guinea pig wheel, going around and around, hamster wheel of the same shit for the next 25 years, just like we did for the last 25 years. Like, we need to be able to stick it out with this kid. He needs to actually learn from his mistakes, get better, and hopefully he can do that. He does a good job as far as reaching his players and understanding his players. Now he needs his players to step up for him, and he needs to put them in a better situation to be successful. And again, if it comes down to, all right, I need to give up play calling, I'm still gonna design the plays, and I'm gonna come up with this crazy shit for us to do, but I'll let somebody else call them during the game. Then maybe that's what needs to happen. But I'm gonna have faith that this coach is gonna come up with something.
Does he have the self-awareness to do that and not?
I hope so. That
ego is hard, man.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, bro, you could have ego, but at the same time, like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
No,
like,
I
bro,
agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be smart enough, especially learning from the Shanahans and stuff like that, who are all about running the ball.
There's a fine line between sticking to the process and making adjustments.
Right.
And that's where I think he's struggling, right?
Right.
I think he's overthinking a lot of in-game situations when he doesn't really have to. It's just being trusting the process, trusting the game plan, and sticking to the game plan. Now, it's hard to do, right, when you're shuffling quarterbacks and you're having to play, musical chairs on the offensive line, and you have injuries again that are impacting your team. I mean, I think you can't say Dolphins without saying injuries in the same sentence. It seems like that's been an Achilles heel of this team, for a long time. But there is some negligence, and Johnny alluded to it earlier. There is some negligence coming into the season, knowing Skylar Thompson is your solution at backup when you've had some injury concerns with your starter. Right. And then another thing, like the quote that you mentioned, Byron, they laughed and they joked about Dolphins Twitter and about the fan base and about media. And now look at us again in a predicament in the offensive line. Yes, we have Isaiah Wynn, who could potentially be, save us when he comes off the PUP list, right? We have a Patrick Paul, which I think can be a very nice addition to this team. But we still have some holes. We still have, and we had these holes at the beginning of the year, and we failed to address them.
All right, I'm gonna put something up that I just found. Y'all ready?
Do it.
Give me 1 second. What do you guys think of this? What does that tell you about this coaching staff?
Well, I mean, it tells me that this offense is designed for Tua. And they're counting on Tua's quick release and his ability to read the defense quick enough to get the ball out as quickly as possible. I mean, you heard Tua's comment when he was asked about the offensive line. with the whole brother, I get the ball out quick, so it doesn't matter who's blocking for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mentality that they seem to have, which is insane to me, to have this mentality of, oh, well, we could get the ball out quick, so it don't matter who we have blocking for us. Like, how? Like, can you imagine how much better you could be if you actually had guys that could block? Yeah, like, why not look at it that way?
I see this a different way too. I see that as too much of a drop off between when your starters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not asking the offense to be a plug and play type deal, but there's gotta be some simplicity to it, where if you encounter a situation like you're in right now, you can plug somebody in who can make the throws and your offense can still, because that's two crazy extremes.
Two extremes.
So either your offense is the top in the league or they're the absolute worst.
Right.
That's basically what you're telling me. There's no in between.
Here's what I see.
Yeah, that's well said.
Johnny, I think you're right. It's an offensive system and scheme designed to and built around Tua's strengths. Right? You're right. Alex is also right. This tells me that there's an inability for this coaching staff to identify strengths in other players that are not Tua Tagovailoa, to mimic his skill set, to bring them in to make this offense work. Does that make any sense to you guys?
No, that makes sense. That
skill set, right? Not every quarterback is
right.
No. Yeah. I didn't say bring in Tua. I said skill set.
Right.
Just you may not have a mobile guy but he has a quick release. So you can bring in guys that are able to run this system efficiently, not to Tua's efficiency, but not from 3rd to 32nd.
No, I think you're both right on that. But I think that also shows the inability of the coaching staff to adjust to the players that they have. You know what I'm saying? Well. You cannot run the exact type of play, game plan and plays that you will for Tua with Skylar. Like, they just don't have the same exact skill set. So you have to be able to adjust to the players that you do have. So that's again, I hate to say it, but that's on the coaching, man. Like, you have to come up. You have to be able to come up with a better game plan to put the players that you have in a better position to be successful with what they are able to do. And you know what I'm saying, Skylar Thompson clearly showed that he cannot pull off that game plan at all.
I know it's a tough ask, right? Because but let me throw this out there. You're right, for those coaches that we know are Super Bowl caliber coaches. Like, hey, I'm curious to see what that looks like if Patrick Mahomes is not the under center for Kansas City. Obviously there's going to be a drop off. But I'm saying, more recent. Alex Smith is, already like 6.
I mean, years. Chad Henne won them that playoff game. There
you go. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Right. There's gotta be that.
Right. But I mean, we're talking about a possible Hall of Fame coach and Andy Reid, who's been coaching.
He's a Hall of
Fame. Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame coach. Yeah. Apologies for that. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously going to be a Hall of Fame coach, but he's been coaching a lot longer. Once that situation came up, you know what I'm saying? Because he had put in all those years in Philly, and then he was a few years into his Kansas City when he brought in Chad Henne.
He had Donovan McNabb in Philly.
Right, yeah. So he had been coaching like 10 years already. Like, we need to remember, this is Mike McDaniel's 38th game or 37th game that he's coached. You know what I'm saying? So he's still learning. He obviously needs to get better.
Those are important little nuances to know. Hey, absolutely. My offense needs to be not plug and play, but I can't have that much of a drop off if I want to compete, because I need to be prepared for injuries, because injuries are going to happen, especially
with the quarterback that we have.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to adjust to you have to be able to adjust your game plan to the talent that you have. And for all we know, he might have been calling plays that he thought that, that Skylar obviously was able to do in practice. So, but Skylar again was not, dude. He was not processing anything, bro. He wasn't processing
those plays were completely foreign to
That's
Skylar
what I'm saying.
Thompson. I can't imagine
he was processing so slow that Mike McDaniel could have been like, bro, we ran this like 40 times in practice and you were killing it. Like, but the game speed, like he was just overwhelmed. He looked like that was his first ever start.
That also
in
begs
the
the question: what the hell are we doing in practice? Are the practices really, are the practices being
enough
run properly? Are we holding people out too much for veteran rest or whatever the fuck it is? Because
that's a fair point.
It begs the question, right? Because like you said,
that's a fair point.
Those plays cannot be foreign to Skylar Thompson. Byron, you made a point. He's been in the offense 3 years. The guy should know the playbook from beginning to end. Okay, because if not, you're not on this team, right? So that can't be foreign to Skylar Thompson. So for us to look that off, something's wrong. Is it coaching? Is it a combination of coaching and your star players not giving 100%, whether it be in practice or during the game? Is it
That's a good point too.
What is it?
That's a good point too. Like, I mean, it could be a combination of all of them to give us that complete horror show that we saw yesterday, bro. Because it was from top to bottom. It just looked absolutely pathetic, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad that Tim Boyle coming into the game was a highlight for us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a sad thought. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm gonna stay optimistic and hope that our coach will be able to come up with something for Monday night, man.
And let me throw this out there too, man. I'm sorry, but I'm over Jason Sanders too.
Yes,
bro. Like I was thinking about it. Like as
Jake
soon
Bailey
as
showed me something, he did.
Yeah, he's actually punting well.
What?
But like,
aside from that one that we had like 18 straight penalties, and we ended up.
That's when we needed the punt the most.
Right, hey, but as far as the Jason Sanders,
he showed me enough in yesterday's game when we clearly had to punt a lot of times. But bro, for Jason Sanders to be regularly missing 50 something yard field goals when a freshman from University of South Florida who had never kicked in a game before hit a 58-yarder against the Canes is unacceptable.
Not only that, dude, but the Seattle kicker. The Seattle kicker on their drive.
He's a Grammatica. Okay, whatever.
No, that matters.
Yeah, it does matter, but he's still a freshman. He's still a freshman. You got to give him his props. But the Seattle kicker, 100%. Like the Seattle kicker was in literally the same situation. He kicked a 57-yarder right before the possession before we got the ball, and he hits it right down the middle with no problem.
He missed one too later on.
Jason Sanders kicks a 56-yard field goal and completely misses it to the left, and it's like not even close.
Remember the one he shanked against Jacksonville? Don't let him off the hook for that one.
Right. So it's just like I don't understand how other teams can line up for a field goal and it's like nothing. It's just routine. But when Jason Sanders come up, like shit, all of us are squeezing our cheeks, praying that he makes a routine field goal every time. Like, that's sad, bro.
Ariaza for the fucking Chiefs. Why? Because they actually sign people with talent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff behind him too.
When the Bills happened, he went through.
I hear you, but you know what I'm saying. If you were him, are you going to go to the Dolphins or are you going to go to the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs?
Good point.
You know who wasn't signed as well? Kyle Ulbrich.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just not even to sign him for real. Bring in some competition. See what happens. Maybe Kyle.
We're talking about Jason Sanders here. We're not talking about Jake Bailey because Jake Bailey.
Jake Bailey has actually punted well the first 3 games. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't punted horribly.
Inside the 20, a couple punts were inside the 20. Great. Right. I mean, Mike essentially created that turnover where Geno Smith threw that pick.
My point isn't on specifically Bailey. My point is on that position group. There is no competition. And it breeds complacency, and it's terrible.
Oh, Jason Sanders is also a midget who can't kick. Let's move on.
Well, I think we have Tennessee in 10 days.
Yes. Well, we have in a week from today.
Yeah, a week from today. So
a week from today,
7 days.
Hopefully, we can avenge that loss that essentially cost us a division last season.
Absolutely, it did cost us a division last year.
Well, Mark says he knows a couple of guys up in Fort Lauderdale that can kick pretty good. I don't know how much
I bet.
Shoulder pads and a helmet, though.
All right.
That's okay. They don't need to take too many blows, man. We can't, All
right. So I got the question here. So if without hearing anything, who's the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins at this time next week?
Tyler Huntley.
So right now it's about the Monday night game's about to start. So who's starting under the center for the Miami Dolphins a week from today against the Tennessee Titans at Hard Rock?
Tyler Huntley, but I also thought the Dolphins were going to win the game in Seattle 17-14, so don't listen to me because I'm an idiot. And the first 3 weeks of the NFL, like we touched on, have been completely unpredictable. Nobody had the Vikings at 3-0. Nobody had the Steelers at 3-0 for damn sure, okay? And nobody had the Ravens at 1-2.
Yeah.
I want Huntley, but we're going to get Boyle.
I'm good with either one of those two. I think it will be Tim Boyle. I would love for it to be Huntley, but I don't know that he'll have enough grasp of the offense by then. But hopefully he'll surprise us.
But again, it's a guy that can do things off script. Tyler Huntley can do things
right.
Off
But
script.
if he can't run the basic shit for you because there's just too much.
Well, lately the basic shit has been wide receiver screens up the ass.
Yeah,
that's been the playbook. Wide receiver screen here. Give it to your playmaker in space.
Right.
Hey,
I hear you. I hear you.
I
hear you. Like I said, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's Huntley, but I think it will be Tim Boyle. I think Tim Boyle probably showed him in that fourth quarter, oh God, this guy actually can play the position. Where Skyler, like I said, bro, so they can use the bruised ribs and just go ahead and put him on IR now for the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? Just let him collect his paycheck.
For bruised ribs?
Whatever. Just say them bitches are broke. And then just, you know what I'm saying, just put him on IR for the next, you know what I'm saying, until we cut him next season, because he does not need to get dressed in a Dolphin uniform again. Sorry, Skyler, I was hopeful for you, bro, but like you're
not sorry, bro. You don't give.
I am sorry because I was hoping that he would. I was hoping that we had our backup quarterback.
We should be hopeful, but we're not.
I was hoping he would be. I mean, I'm sorry for him because he's a young kid. You want them to be successful, but you had your opportunity, bro. You had an opportunity right there in front of you to show this staff something, and again, you completely peed down the side of your leg.
He Channing Crowdered.
Yeah, he Channing Crowdered it. He Channing Crowdered it, and you know what I'm saying, he showed that he cannot handle the fire that it is to be an NFL quarterback. So I'm hoping for Huntley too, but I think it will be Tim Boyle.
I agree.
And honestly, if the coach, does a proper game plan for this Tennessee Titan team, there's no reason why we can't beat Tennessee, bro. Honestly, we're gonna find out. And Tennessee's a tough team, so we're gonna find out how tough our team is. Please don't let Tennessee come down to the Hard Rock and just basically punk us on national TV again, bro. Because then
they did it once.
Then you think it's bad now, Dolphin fans. Imagine if Tennessee comes down here and just pounds on us. They 0-3 and just beats up on us.
Can we just close on a positive?
What do you got?
What do I got?
I got us winning. I got us winning 24. No, but I'm not even gonna say 24. I'm gonna say 2010. 2010 we win Monday night. I just want Tim Boyle with 2 touchdowns and Devon Achane rushes for like 125.
Fun fact: do you know that I think this is what I read, that we're the only team who hasn't had a lead all season?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Until the final horn against Jacksonville.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll settle for an early lead and finally pay dirt. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we're going to win 2010. We're going to win 2010. Tim Boyle is going to have an efficient day. We're going to run for close to 200 yards total. Devon Achane is going to go nuts.
So Devon Achane is going to get what, $150?
Devon Achane is going to get $1 and some change. He's going to catch a few balls. He's going to score a rushing and a receiving touchdown. Devon Achane.
Wow. All right, we'll put that on draft.
And our defense is going to turn Will Levis over a couple times too.
Well, if we were able to turn Geno Smith over, I would hope we get freaking mayonnaise boy to turn over too.
That's what I'm saying.
I just want to look like a competent NFL team.
No, we need to win. We need to win this game.
Like no illegal formation penalties. I think we got the.
I'm not even gonna cross my. I'm not even gonna think about that, dude. That's a given. We're gonna get at least 2. We average at least 3 or 4 of those a game. But yeah, we hopefully a much better showing overall by our team. You know what I'm saying? Like Byron said, let's look like a competent NFL team We have an inferior team coming to our building on Monday night. We should have some, you know what I'm saying, some payback on our minds too, like Alex said.
We should be mad.
You know what I'm saying? Make us, right. We should be mad. Let's make a statement against Tennessee Titans at home
and go to 500.
You know what I'm saying? Go to 500 again, where you got the New England Patriots and then you got the bye week. So you win these 2 games, you're 3-2 going into the bye. Again, the conversation is completely different if we're 3-2 going into the bye.
You're sounding like our boy Teddy. Optimism.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I see the silver lining. Take us out of here. On a good note. Yeah. Come on, take us out of here, Johnny. We got football.
All right. So that's going to do it. If you're new, hit the subscribe, smash that like. Make sure you turn on notifications so you know whenever we are going live. Dolphin Chronicles every Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We will be back a week from today to preview the Monday night game. So we'll lead you right into the Monday night game next week. Make sure you check out False 9 every Thursday night. 7:30 Eastern.
Do we want to come in before the Monday night game, or do we want to save it for Tuesday and have a special edition so we can do it after the game?
We're gonna come in guns a-blazing.
We can come in and we can lead right into the game. You know what I'm saying? Right. We'll condense the show to make sure everybody can get ready for the game. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have a quick, we ain't gonna be recapping no game because we ain't gonna have played on Sunday. So we can just come in. We can just come in and talk about what we hope to see in the game on Monday. So definitely check us out 7:30 next week. False 9, all things Inter Miami with our boy Byron and Mark Gonzalez every Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Time. And this week in Miami is occasionally on Fridays at 7:30 Eastern Time with these two gentlemen right here. So definitely check it out. Be on the lookout for the Johnny Cruz show. It's coming hopefully soon.
I do wanna.
How about that? The game's at 7:15.
See, man. Okay,
man. Mark, he's the brain.
Mark is on point, boy.
Anyways,
not only does he know all sports and all things Inter Miami, he knows the schedule too.
About this week in Miami, I'm working on another special guest. The freshman place kicker for the University of Miami, not Borregales, but the young man that's going to take his place. I'm going to reach out and see what, as far as legalities are concerned, if he can come on our show and say what's up and talk to us about the U and whether the swag is back or not. So that's in the works for this week in Miami, guys. So stay tuned.
Yes, definitely want to be here for that. And yes, shout out to the Miami Hurricanes. 3-0, a nice 50-15 beat down of the USF Bulls right here.
Yeah,
right here in Tampa.
We're climbing.
Nice. Yes, Alex got to see that. So, so definitely check it out. All right, so then we'll figure again. Have the notifications on. We'll let you know exactly what time we're coming on live next week, since the game is at 7:15. So maybe we'll do. Maybe we will do Tuesday, but we'll let you know exactly for sure. Just keep your notifications on. You can either find out on Thursday on the False 9 show, or maybe on Fridays this week in Miami. But for Byron and Alex, I am Johnny Cruz. This is the Dolphin Chronicles presented by Kendall Sports Network. Thanks for checking us out. Until next time, people. Peace.